everyone, Colin Canet here for Woodwork Web. Today we're going to look at paint brushes, and although you're probably not going to be painting your woodworking projects, you're probably going to be varnishing or shellacking or something like that. Today we want to look at paint brushes to see why you should select the paintbrush that you do for the job that you do. Just like anything that we do in woodworking, having the right tools is important for getting a good finish. Now, as woodworkers, when we're finishing our projects, we have a choice of two materials to use. We either select a waterborne material for a finish, or we select an oil-borne product for a finish. And depending on which we choose, we need to make sure that we have the right brush, because if you don't have the right brush for finishing that project, you run the risk of making a mess of your finishing, which we all want to try and avoid. Let's start off with looking at foam brushes. Now, they come in a variety of sizes, 1, 2, and 3 inch typically, and for a lot of things they're ideal. They're great for touch-ups around the house. They're great for spreading glue, but as far as actually finishing projects, they may not be ideal for you, despite the fact that a lot of people use them and think they're great. The problem with foam brushes is they're full of air, and when you try and paint with them, particularly if you're using a varnish or a varathane, a material like that, you end up getting air in your project, and that air often will not break. It will actually dry in the material, and it leaves little craters, so that requires a big project in sanding, a lot of sanding between coats. So foam brushes are probably not ideal. You basically have a couple of choices. You can pick a natural hair brush, and those are often an ox hair or a boar's hair. Or you can pick a synthetic, which are a nylon or a polyester, or sometimes a blend of those. And of course there's a big difference in price. The one thing that you can usually rely on, if you're spending quite a bit of money for a paintbrush, it's probably a good paintbrush. Now, I only have one natural bristled brush, and this is an ox hair. The problem that you'll find with natural bristles is that if you use them with water, they will splay when they dry, and that's because the fibers, the hair inside the brush, just like the hair in your head when you come out of a shower and your hair's all over the place, bristles on a brush do the same thing. They absorb water, so they go like this. Now, that's also true of one of the inexpensive natural brushes that you can purchase. And we've actually got a sample of one here, so you can see what happens when you use a waterborne material with a natural brush. Let's have a look at that. All of these paintbrushes are inexpensive paintbrushes. These are inexpensive nylon or polyester fibered brushes. These are inexpensive organic. I don't know if it's a bamboo. I don't know what the material is there, but look at that brush. All we've done with that brush is we have wet it and let it dry naturally. It looks just like your hair when you come out of the shower. This is what the brush looks like when it comes out of the package. So this kind of a brush, this natural hair, if you're using that on a waterborne material, this brush, partway through your project, is going to start splaying like this, which means you're not going to be getting a good finish. Now, we don't typically recommend these brushes for a good quality finish on any of your woodworking projects. We really recommend that you get a good quality paintbrush, and we're going to show you what that looks like. What we're looking at when we're buying a paintbrush are the bristles. And it's the bristles that are really going to make a difference in how your finish looks. So, for example, on an inexpensive paintbrush, a bristle will look like this. it's often just a line of nylon or polyester. In some cases, there might be a little bit of flagging right at the end, and the purpose of the flagging, of course, is to help smooth out that surface, particularly if you're using clear finishes like varnishes and varathanes and those sorts of things. A good quality paintbrush is going to be like this. It will have much more flagging at the bottom. It will be very soft at the bottom, and that's so that it spreads that material even and it doesn't leave lines in it. When you have a bristle with no flagging or very little flagging, when you run the brush through the material, it actually leaves lines. It looks like a furrow from a farmer's field from 5,000 feet. You can actually see the lines in it. And of course you don't want that, because in many cases that material, when you lay it on there, it will not blend. The furrows won't blend. They'll actually stay there and dry that way. So you want a brush that's going to ease those furrows so that you don't see that. Before I get started on better quality brushes, I just want to show you one of the things to look for with any brush is give it a little pull and see if you can pull any of the fibers out. Many years ago they used to just stamp these, clamp them with a material around here, but even these inexpensive brushes now, and I've taken this one apart so you can see, this is of course the metal part that goes around the bristles and the brush, and you can see that the bristles are actually embedded in some kind of an epoxy material. And even in this is a $1 brush, even in that it's hard to pull the bristles out. So for laying down glue, maybe for staining, things that are not critical, that's what an inexpensive brush is good for. So let's look at some quality brushes, and these are all polyester nylon blend type brushes. And of course they come in different widths, just like any paintbrush. And some of them, when I pick them up, I actually, even though I'm not using them for cutting in, I'm not using them for painting a house, you'll notice that they have an edge to them. They're designed for cutting in, but I actually like that for painting because it gives me a little bit of an angle when I'm finishing my surfaces. And of course all of the paint brushes come with these little, a good quality one will come with this little packaging, and look, it's even got, you know, it even closes Velcro, and the purpose of that is when you're finished with the paintbrush, what they recommend is that you put it back after it's clean and dry, or it might still be damp, but put it back in its little box. That will keep it good. This one I haven't used yet. This is my own brush, and you can see, maybe you can see, I've actually written varnish only on it. So this is a special brush that I've had for a number of years. It's a polyester brush, and I use it specifically for varnish, for clear finishes only, and it's a good quality brush. If you look at the ends of it, you can see it's nicely flagged, and it actually lays down a very nice fine surface. And that's what you're looking for in a paintbrush. And I keep it in that little package, and it stays pristine forever. This is another brush that I use. This one I actually use for waterborne materials, and it's also, again, if you look at it, it's nicely flagged at the top, very, very soft, and it lays down a very nice coat. This is just another version of the first one, the 3-inch. This is a 2-inch. Again, this is a brand new paintbrush, and in the right light, you can actually see at the very bottom there, you can see a line at the very bottom, and that shows you how deep the flagging is, and that's important in a good quality brush. So the key to getting a good finish on your projects is having the right tools. And in this case, having the right tools means having a good quality paintbrush. And now that you understand how to select the right paintbrush, your project finishes, I can guarantee, will start getting better and better. Don't forget to clean your brushes well after you've used them. Put them back in their cardboard holder and they'll give you years and years of good quality finishing. We also have an associated article that goes along with all of these videos on our website. And if you haven't already subscribed to our channel, we would ask you to do that so that you too can be informed every time we put a new video on. So, I'm Colin Canet for Woodwork Web. Thanks for watching.